Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode of FitzRupee Cast featuring Dawn of War 2 Retribution. Red-Rupee here with you, calling the shots for you tonight as always. And before we get started today, I've got a little request for those of you viewers who actually play Dawn of War and have it installed and capable of watching replays. I want you to head over to GameReplays.org, check out their Dawn of War 2 replays section, find some games that don't have any wubs or comments on them, and download them and watch them. Find something you're interested in, of course. Find a matchup you want to see. Find a map you want to see played. 3-on-3, 1-on-1. It doesn't matter, really. But just find a download and watch it. And go back, leave a comment on it. It doesn't matter just if you like the game, if you didn't really care for it, what you think they could have done better strategically, anything like that. Anything you liked or didn't like, just leave some feedback. People are more likely to keep uploading replays if people know they're watching them. And it helps me because I go there and I obviously scour game replays for good games, and games with more comments and wubs are obviously going to catch my attention and, more likely to see them here. And, it just helps the community grow, and you never know, you might even learn something or see something you've never seen before. But anyways, now that I've got that out of the way, let's go ahead and look where we're at. We're on Quest Heresy, of course, this arid desert installation. Man, this map just makes me warm looking at it, man. I would not want to be out here wearing power armor, marching around in combat. But hey, that's the world of 40k. On the red side, we've got Mr. Rise here with the always imposing Chaos Lord with some nice Chaos World Bearers DLC over here. And the blue team, we've got Mr. Phlaago, who I'm not familiar with, but of course, just because you don't know a player's name does not mean they are some sort of noob or Dawn of War 2 neophyte. I'm sure he's a very talented player facing off against Rise here today, so we're going to see how this plays out. Let's go ahead, get this game on the road, take a look at the map real quick while the players get started up. Of course, we can have the two natural sort of VPs over here on Quest Heresy on the left side with a straight contested power. And then on the right side, we've got a couple requisition and the contested VP. And of course, in Quest Heresy, we've got this big conglomeration of 5 resource points right here in the center. 3 requisition, 2 power. And really, you only normally see the rear natural power farms built up here. Of course, that depends on central map control. And possibly this one over here, since it's hard to get out here to bash in between all the action in the center for the resources. But I feel like the Chaos Lord can do very well on this map here. Can obviously use these walls right here to kind of hide from range squads, mitigate damage, and really force the player to kind of have to go around and take some circuitous paths. Sorry about that. To really get into combat and get any sort of field advantage. So we'll have to see if Mr. Rise takes advantage of that or not. Farseer running around right now, bringing 2 Guardian squads on the field and a squad of Banshees. Rise with 2 Heretics and a squad of CSM. Farseer just trying to pull away this Chaos Lord, keep him away from the central army, and that's really what you want to do as Eldar. Just kind of keep your enemy's army from blobbing up and getting able to pin you down, because you want to be able to pick and choose your engagements as Eldar, since your early squads in these first engagements are so very frail. You can see Banshees, of course, at 625 health. That's actually 15 health less than a Heretic squad, which are notoriously weak. Anyways, here comes the first little scuffle right here. Looks like Banshee's charging in. They're not going to be able to do much with those Heretics right next to the Chaos Marines. One Banshee goes down to a Doom Blast, but those Heretics are taking combined fire from a perfect flank by these 2 Guardian squads. Those Heretics may actually go down 30 HP, probably going to get away. There was a brief break in the Guardians firing right there, but they are not going to be able to hold up against those Chaos Space Marines on their own. You can see, looks like just 1 generator going down there for Phlaago. Rise actually just sitting with an empty power farm right now, despite his resources. Probably going to bring, I guess, probably another squad of Chaos Space Marines or maybe a Havoc or something onto the field. Oh, actually, Noise Marines coming onto the field right now while he goes ahead and takes control of the last center points right here. Decaps that wreck. And VP's sitting neutral right now, but you can see Rise is prioritizing those resources right now instead of the early VPs, which is probably a good choice in the long run. Anyways, another generator down for Phlaago, sticking with just these 3 Eldar squads right now. Farseer rushing way ahead, trying to make sure those Chaos Marines can't get any free shots in on these Banshees. A nice knockdown. Banshees dodging and circumventing that Chaos Lord. Nice little maneuver right there, preventing that Kill the Weak from going off. Oh, but he hits it anyways. Knocks some Banshees all around. Guardians pouring fire into the Chaos Lord. Guide going off on those Banshees, and those Chaos Space Marines are in a lot of trouble. Look at that chain knockdown. Wow, the Chaos Marine squad went down that quickly. You can't mess around with power armor and Banshees with Guide. This Chaos Lord might actually be in a bit of trouble too, but it looks like he's going to get out of there. He's out of range of the Guardians, so not looking too bad right now. Man, that's a rough early loss there for Rise. Noise Marines activating their cacophonous sound, knocking that Farseer around and buying some time for these Heretics to come in from the left. And that nice little play there. Good stall with the Noise Marines. They probably actually didn't have to retreat right there with everything falling back. They could have tried to push up and take out some of this power over here. 2-0 cap about to be anyways. Predicting that. Rise not hesitating to bring those Chaos Marines back on the field. He knows he's going to need some ranged firepower to deal with this. She's running in against these Heretics. I always feel like that's a bad idea. I feel like a Doom Blast. I'm not sure why he retreated without hitting the Doom Blast. That would have suppressed the Banshees and probably kept him from losing. He lost a couple of models anyways, so you may as well Doom Blast, weaken these Banshees, and then fall back. Battle equipment on both the Guardians, so I'm surprised Phlaago's not bringing a Shuriken or something like that on the field. Perhaps he's going for a quick tier 2. No upgrades on the Farseer yet. These Guardians are in a great spot. If he can get back here and push these Heretics off, these guys can get an excellent retreat grenade off and possibly wipe the squad. But it looks like he's just going to let them hang back while he pushes the map. Again, that's kind of what you want to do with Eldar, is just keep your opponent having to not stay together. Force them to spread out, and you can choose the engagements when and where you want to. But no Shuriken or anything coming on the field. Looks like he's going to go straight to tier 3. Personally, I love having a Shuriken against the Chaos Lord. It really kind of helps control him and make him forced to engage. And of course he does counter the Shuriken pretty much himself, but any kind of play you can do to really force your opponent to do something is always a means of control. But anyways, too much firepower for those Eldar squads to deal with right now. Heretics in the retreat path, unfortunately, causing lots of trouble right now. Actually picking off quite a few Guardians. Man, got 4 Guardians right there. That is brutal. And just as I was saying that Mr. Phlaago should force those Heretics out and get a retreat kill on them, Rise did the exact opposite of that. Looks like Phlaago sent that Farseer out to kind of make sure that he can truncate this power bash right here. Actually hasn't lost this generator. I'm sure those Noise Marines will be able to get one final little blast there, but no, they decide to retreat, and Phlaago keeps everything onto the field right here. Banshee's going in after these Heretics. I feel like they should pull back. There goes the Doom Blast. That's how you got to do it. Still lost a couple miles, but these Banshees are nice and weak for the next engagement. Of course, the Farseer does have those Spirit Stones, so I'm sure once she has the energy for that, she's a little low right now, she'll be healing those Banshees right back up. Spirit Stone's an awesome accessory. And I really feel like I want to see these Guardians setting up energy shields all over the place. Again, the Chaos Lord can just stomp them, but if you can encourage your opponent to make the Chaos Lord go somewhere, you can know where he's going to go and not have to worry too much about what he's going to do. Anyways, full power farm for Phlaago. Just 2 generators still for Mr. Rise. I'm not sure if he's just forgotten to drop that last one or whether he's saving up for something quick in tier 2 here. Both players sitting with a lot of resource. Phlaago needs to hit that tier 2 pretty quickly. He's already could have hit it in about 10 seconds or so ago. Banshee's homing right in for these Chaos Space Marines, catching them off guard. They had to retreat right away, but they can't stick around. A nice retreat grenade picking off one of those. There's some Chaos bits right there for you. And Phlaago finally hitting the tier 2 button. Farseer running around the back line with her Guardians, just getting some decapping while she can. Rise getting some Bloodletters onto the field right now, and Noise Marines have free reign to tear through some of this Eldar warp generators right now. You can see Phlaago just completely undisturbed by that, immediately building them back as soon as they go down. Cacophonous sound going off again, but those Noise Marines are going to have to retreat as soon as it goes off. They have no support. Those Banshees are going to shred them if they get in close. And they fall back once again.
Generator operational.
Here comes another retreat grenade. Oh, and it picks off one of them. I thought the Guardians were actually going to run right through that themselves. A little off, but still managed to get an extra one right there. And oh, if they had just saved that grenade for these heretics, that would be a dead squad. Heretics are notoriously vulnerable to going down to grenades, being all those low HP, high count kind of squads. See Chaos Lord just sitting in range mode trying to pick off those Guardians a little bit at a time right here. And oh man, Chaos Marines already upgrading to their Mark of Khorne, giving them their melee aspect right there with their power axes. Nice looking grenade on that approaching melee squad, but both squads have to fall back once again. Phlaago gonna lose his Guardians though to a Bloodletter teleport. Nice little secondary play right there by Rise. Phlaago caught it, but it was a bit too late. Now a Phlaago down to just 2 squads, and not much resource either. Already upgrading now the Farseer to the Gravity Blade. Shuriken is on the field now.
We are losing a victory objective.
But those Bloodletters are on the field. I think that's actually might be a bit too little too late for that Shuriken with both the Chaos Lord and the Bloodletters on the field. It's going to be kind of difficult to keep that up, I feel.
We will stand against any enemy.
So 1 squad of Guardians down. It's looking pretty rough for Phlaago. He's managed to do a great job of keeping the victory points from bleeding off. You can see it's pretty much exactly even right now. Of course, Rise is picking up a couple and just going for this heavy melee build right here. Again, I feel like this is a great map for melee-style builds. But we're going to have to see how that plays out. Of course, we saw a couple episodes ago melee-heavy build went against Eldar, and they kind of regretted it once the Warp Spiders started hitting the field. So we'll have to see what Phlaago goes here for next. I feel like Warp Spiders would definitely be a good choice. But who knows what Phlaago will opt for. You can see Noise Marines getting upgraded to their Blastmaster, so they're going to have some artillery fire pouring in there, knocking those Banshees and Guardians all over the place, in addition to doing some pretty heavy damage. And the Shuriken's still kind of hanging way back here. Not sure how far it should move up, of course, with those Bloodletters. Of course, what you want to try to do is get those Bloodletters to teleport. Here it goes right here, too. Get them to teleport, and now they are in perfect position to get shredded by the Shuriken cannon. Guardians getting in there, dropping a grenade. Oh, but it hits quite a few Banshees there, as opposed to too much of anything else. A bit of a misplay right there. I'm not sure if this is going to wear off in time for those to take any damage. They took a couple Shuriken shots right there, but they're in perfect position to take it out right now. Chaos Lord upgraded to the Blood Maul, and man, Rise is just going for all melee all the time right now. That Blood Maul will be great for deterring those Banshees. He can hit that big powerful sweep ability. I forget what exactly it's called. And oh man, here goes the Levitation Blade. Or the Gravity Blade and the Levitation Field. I get all the words mixed up all the time. You know that. It's okay. You know what I mean, at least. Banshee's now coming in to try to shred this Chaos Lord. He needs to get a sweep off or something before he retreats. Guide going down, and that Chaos Lord is down for the count. So that's definitely what Phlaago needed. Definitely needed some sort of victory here, and taking out that Chaos Lord will definitely help him out at least a little bit. Rise can probably buy him back in not too long, but it'll slow down his tech and army growth for the time being. Phlaago really needs to work on getting some Mac back in the meantime. Bringing a Wraithlord on the field, that's probably going to be pretty effective, all things considered. Really, the only thing that can deal with that right now is these Bloodletters and the Noise Marines. Of course, those Banshees already took one nasty hit from the Noise Marines, managed to keep all their members up, but can't take that victory point for the time being. It's always a great deterrent having your artillery squad just hanging in the back, watching those VPs, because you know your opponent's going to send a capping squad out there, and if they're not paying attention, they're going to lose some models. So Phlaago having quite a bit of resource even after buying that Wraithlord. Gonna have to see what they go for next. Here comes a Bloodletter teleport, lots of melee in retreat, potentially for this Farseer, but she's just gonna hit the fleet of foot and run out of there, not panicking at all. A lot of people will see that Bloodletter teleport in and just kind of panic and hit the retreat button. You never really want to do that, especially against a melee-based army like this, because if you hit the retreat at the wrong time, Rise could easily have had 2 or 3 melee squads just sitting in this retreat path. If you know your retreat paths with a melee army, you can really dish out some punishment on that front. Phlaago now getting a second wraithlord actually, and that might actually be a good choice right now. We'll have to see if that's an efficacious strategy or not. Armor of the Inferno now on the Chaos Lord as well, and it looks like, I'm not sure if Rise spotted that wraithlord right there or not, but it looks like Phlaago's just trying to keep it hidden for the time being and maneuver around, really playing exactly how Eldar should be. I mean, a lot of people would kind of get antsy and frustrated and just kind of charge in here wanting to break this line. But Phlaago's waiting patiently until he has the advantage, and with these 2 wraithlords coming onto the field, he's definitely got it for the time being. Noise Marines still hanging back there. Those Guardians heard that distinctive tenor and deciding not to engage. Shuriken Cannon in the back here on this VP, but it's getting charged by both Chaos Lord and Bloodletters. In the meantime, Banshee's charging the back line of Heretics. 2 Wraithlords harassing all this melee. There's really not too much they can do about it either. Oh man, a whiffed grenade there. He kind of expected those Heretics to fall back, but they didn't, and they paid for it as well. Banshee shredded them without even trying. Didn't even break a sweat. And the Demonic Visage actually on the Chaos Lord. Don't see that too often, but not a bad war gear at all. Anytime he makes any kind of melee attack, everything around him gets reduced damage as far as enemy units. 2 Wraith Guards stomping, Wraith Lords stomping around together, finding those Chaos Space Marines with their Market Core and taking one out and leaving the others pretty injured. Here comes possibly a nice looking grenade. No grenade, but Banshee's still in the retreat path. Probably going to pick off an extra 1 or 2 right there. Gets the extra model. Corn Worship trying to increase the speed of that retreat. And oh man, a nice looking Let the Galaxy Burn right there. This choke point is just perfect for that. Dropping all those fireballs right on top of those squishy Eldar units. Wraithlord trying to chop down some Heretics in the meantime and force off and stop that Corn Worship. Perfect use right there of the Spirit Stones, bringing those Banshees right back up to full health. These Heretics need to retreat right now. One of these Wraithlords is very low though, and oh man, down it goes to a squad of Bloodletters. However, that Chaos Lord might be in a bit of a precarious position. If that Wraithlord had turned around and taken a swing or two, he might have been going down right there, but it looks like the Banshees aren't going to finish him off. They have to fall back. And here comes a Khorne Chaos Dreadnought onto the field. Unfortunately, with just the one Wraithlord left, that Wraithlord on its own is not going to stand too well against this Khorne Dreadnought, which is one of the most powerful melee walkers in the game right here.
The enemy has 300 points remaining.
Farseer running all over the place, constantly harassing the VPs. She should... Oh, and here's... Oh, there we go. I was getting ready to say, I hope that Mr. Phlaago did not forget about those Noise Marines, and he didn't. He went in, forced them off. Now he can go really capture that victory point without too much trouble. Horsefire's coming onto the field now, and that's what I would have liked to have seen maybe before one of these Wraithlords. But the two Wraithlords proved pretty useful. Definitely took some control of the map back. Unfortunately, one went down. 241 to 288. Rise up by about 50 VPs right now. But Phlaago's still doing a great job. I mean, Phlaago hasn't had much map, but he's been keeping this VP drain down to a minimum. Horsefire's coming in. Looks like we're going to see that first Haywire Grenade as Bloodlust goes off. Or Blood Rage, rather. My apologies. Again, I just get all these little slight differences in word and ability names mixed up from time to time. And a Bright Lance coming onto the field as well. Probably going to be necessary to deal with this Dreadnought.
An Exarch emerges from the Warp Spider Shrine.
Noise Marines and everything else just kind of hanging back. Luckily, Rise knows there's really not too much he has to worry about in the ways of anti-vehicle right now, but finally pulling that Khorne Dreadnought back. just kind of leaving it there to remind that wraithlord that it doesn't want to come out right now. Oh man, looks like that Farseer's in a lot of trouble. She goes down. That is not what Phlaago needed right there. Chaos Lord taking down all kinds of Guardians right there. 3 Guardians go down. Right Lance not quite in position to fire on that Chaos Dreadnought right now. Really, he could have pulled it back into firing range if he had maneuvered his troops correctly, because with that Blood Rage on, of course, there is no way for your self to control the Dreadnought right there. You can see it's actually firing on the Chaos Lord on its own. So Phlaago looking like bringing a pretty sizable army onto the field now once again. He is pretty far down, kind of at the beginning of Tier 2 right here. 2-0 cap though for Mr. Rise. Gonna be chipping those VPs off pretty quickly unless Phlaago can get back on the field and do something about it. This Khorne Dreadnought taking lots of fire from that Bright Lance in the meantime though. And that Chaos Lord realizes he's not going to be able to go take that final VP on his own.
200 points remaining.
Noise Marine getting in a quick shot on that wraithlord as Rise goes ahead and trucks onward to Tier 3. And you can see just using these walls kind of hanging back, forcing those range squads to really come around and get into swinging range. Of course, War Spires don't care about that. They will just maneuver to wherever is advantageous. Wraithlord now taking all kinds of swings away at those Chaos Marines. Noise Marines scored an excellent shot on those Banshees. In the meantime, War Spires cutting through Heretics like butter. Not sure where that Bright Lance is. That Bright Lance needs to move into position, especially these 2 platforms need to be in kind of more aggressive positions. You need to use them defensively, but they need to be somewhere that they can be useful to the rest of your army and, you know, kind of make sure they're worth having on the field. War Spires trying to take out these Noise Marines. I'm not sure if they'll get them before that first shot goes off. That could take out quite a few models. Oh man! 2 War Spires go down, 2 Noise Marines go down. Kind of even right there. Probably a little more expensive for Phlaago. This Chaos Dreadnought in a lot of trouble. Got a little too antsy going for that Wraithlord. Took some Bright Lance fire. 30 HP. Phlaago wants it bad, but is going to have to be very careful with this Wraithlord. If those Bloodletters catch it out of position, they could take it out without much issue. I know you always just want to get that Dreadnought so bad when you get it so low, because they are just such a pain to take out. But really, that Wraithlord is kind of what's keeping him in the game right now, I feel. I feel like if that goes down, Rise's melee is just going to walk all over him. 155 to 241 right now. Rise in Tier 3, and with plenty of resource, probably going to bring a Predator or something big onto the field pretty soon here. So Phlaago's going to have to deal with that in some way or another. Predator actually not too difficult to deal with on its own, but with his Dreadnought out as well, Phlaago doesn't have the AV to deal with both of them if they push for the time being. Shuriken trying to get this natural VP back into their hands. You can see it's actually all away, completely matured for Rise. That's got to be discouraging a little bit for Mr. Phlaago. Farseer falling in, and here goes the levitation field once again, allowing these Banshees to close in on these Chaos Space Marines. You can see Chaos Lord actually still used his ability as they approached. But, oh, and Bloodlust going off right now. You don't see that used very often, but that's going to increase. You can see these Marines attacking quicker and harder with every swing, but even so, they still have to fall back after losing a member. Did quite a number on those Banshees, though, and at least forced them off the field. Same thing with those Wolf Spiders taking a face full of fire from that Chaos Lord. Heretics forcing off that Bright Lance weapons team, and now getting engaged by the Farseer and the Wraithlord. Bloodletters teleporting in right here. A grenade going down right on top of them, doing some nice damage. They hit their phase shift, though, and are going to be avoiding any further damage for the time being. Fortunately, their Heretics got forced off. Of course, those Heretics want to stay on the field for as long as they can and worship around those Bloodletters, keeping them healed up and full of energy so they can keep teleporting and phase shifting at will. Rice has been doing a great job so far, really saving up. I don't know if we're going to see a duo or what. Oh man, Chaos Lord goes down though. And I love how the Wraith Lord just kind of looks curiously when it kills a hero, kind of observing its little kill right there. Once again, we're seeing this Chaos Dreadnought in a bit of peril, but nothing's really out here to take advantage of that Haywire grenade. Farseer is going to have to be very careful because that Haywire is going to wear off soon, and if that Chaos Dreadnought gets a few swings on retreat right here, that could be it for her. There goes one. If it gets another, oh, down she goes again. Very unfortunate indeed.
The enemy is claiming a victory point.
You can see Phlaago kind of, again, just hanging back. Both of these armies playing kind of very reserved, both being very solicitous. Sorry, I can't talk today. Solicitous with their walkers because, I mean, I have the feeling whoever loses their walker first could be on the back foot, very much so. Of course, with this great unclean one coming onto the field, as soon as that hits, Phlaago's kind of gonna need, I feel, to take out this Chaos Dreadnought to really stay on even footing. 102 to 210. Phlaago down by about 100 VPs. That's actually kind of been the biggest deficit he's seen all game. Doing a good job of holding VPs, even if he hasn't been holding the resources too well. Oh, we're seeing Bloodlust go off again. And man, just two squads engaged in fisticuffs right now. There goes the Doom Blast and just all this melee. Oh, the Banshees can deal with one or two squads. A bit of friendly fire there from the Noise Marines. But that melee is just too much for them to deal with right now. Warspire's taking a blast from those Noise Marines, hitting the retreat just before they took a little too much damage. And the great unclean one now front and center, leading the charge. Corn Dreadnought not far behind, charging in there, but that Bright Lance is still firing away. Rise has to be aware of that right now. I don't even think it's going to get in there in time to take it out. It does actually, with just a couple shots left. There goes some vomit from the great unclean one, and that Bright Lance might actually go down here. No, it didn't manage to get another swing off before it ran away, but the Chaos Dreadnought is very low. Blood Rage going off. This wraithlord might be in trouble. I can't even watch. Oh, yes, I can. I love seeing Dreadnoughts explode. And there goes the Dreadnought, just barely letting the wraithlord escape with 50 HP. Those Guardians need to get back and start fixing that up right away. Farseer charging in, not hesitating to face off one-on-one with this giant, unspeakable abomination right here. Man, oh, he is just so disgusting and jiggly, and oh, you can see his back fat. Oh, it's just gross. Just such a nasty fellow right there. There goes a Let the Galaxy Burn, trying to deter that Farseer and her Banshees from doing any more damage. Actually doing, you know, getting the Great Unclean One down to about 60% of his health for the time being. And really, he's having a hard time kind of approaching. That Bright Lance still picking away at him. Finally getting out of range right there. And then coming right back around in here. Uh-oh, here comes another vomit, it looks like. Or he may be stuck. It looks like he kind of just got broken right there. There it goes. Knocking them all over the place. Kind of anticlimactic. I know a lot of people kind of wish that his vomit was a little bit better than what it is these days. But oh well. Getting some nice chip damage still on this Great Unclean One. Keeping him from getting too powerful and just wanting him to stay back as much as possible. 90 to 144 though. Phlaago needs to get back on the field and has tons of resources. I'm not sure what he's waiting on to buy next. Could definitely go into tier 3. I mean, look at all the power. Chaos Lord going to be in a bit of trouble if he doesn't get out of there. Looks like he drops the Let the Galaxy Burn and then hits the retreat button. Banshees get healed right back up. Gulo's going to be in a lot of trouble if he doesn't fall back. Banshees and this Wraithlord can definitely take him out as for the time being. Once again, you can see these Noise Marines just kind of sitting back, playing some guard duty on that Eastern VP. 82 to 139, however. Phlaago just needs to bring something else out on the field, though. You're sitting on so many resources. You never want to float like that at this point in the game. You see a blood sacrifice going off on those Chaos Heretics right there. And Levitation Blade being used to great effect once again. That Great Unclean One's getting very low in the meantime. I really think that wraithlord probably should have focused on taking out these heretics instead of focusing on the Great Unclean One, but he is very low. Wraithlord might actually be able to get it down. Took out all those heretics except for the aspiring champion. Great Unclean One down to 70 HP. Wraithlord close in pursuit, beaten up on by Bloodletters, ignoring the beating it's taking in the back, and final swing takes out that Great Unclean One. Wraithlord needs to run now if it wants to have a chance at surviving. It looks like it's going to cost Phlaago the Walker, but it did manage to take out that Great Unclean One. And honestly, a second squad of Warp Spiders right now, I feel like would have kind of sealed the deal. Could have gone for that instead of the tier 3. Because right now, Rise is just nothing but a few melee squads and a squad of Noise Marines. So here comes the Chaos Predator. I was kind of expecting to see that instead of that Great Unclean One. Corn Marines in the backfield. Way back here, losing a member to Banshees on retreat. Farseer running around to the back line here. You can see, you know what she's heading for. She's heading right for those Noise Marines. They know they're in a bit of trouble too. They're going to fall back, allow those Banshees to get that Eastern VP, and 39 to 128. Unfortunately, if Phlaago isn't set up for it, this Chaos Predator is going to be in a lot of trouble. Or sorry, it's going to be a lot of trouble for Mr. Phlaago.
We are taking blows.
Levitation field going off right there. Banshees homing right after those Noise Marines. Phase shift going off on those Bloodletters just before the levitation field stops, but they're going to be in a bit of a tight spot once these Banshees come back around. Guardians heading up for the point, but getting pursued by a squad of angry heretics. Hopefully Phlaago's paying attention to that. Phlaago, again, just floating so much now in Tier 3, needs to bring something onto the field. When your VPs are this low, you can't really hold out for those big super units. You want to get something out here. A Fire Prism would really be perfect. You can see another phase shift going off right there. The grenade going off over here. You can see all the +3s from a bunch of heretics going down. A couple +6s too, because I think there was a bit of friendly fire. Warp Spiders warping all over the place, trying to hold out against these Khorne Space Marines, retreating at the last second, but I don't know if they're going to get out. Exarch just barely survives, I think. Eldritch Storm going off over here, forcing the Bloodletters off the VP, really trying to buy any amount of time. Fire Prism finally getting purchased, but I'm not sure if it's going to hit the field in time to make a difference. Farseer jetting across the map with Fleet of Foot constantly running all over the place. Fortune Armor, of course, then on all game, really allowing her to stay on the field pretty much as long as she wants, so long as she stays out of direct combat. 21 to 101 though, and really needs to get out here and just take something right now. And it's all going to come down to this 9-8. Oh, and that's going to be it though. Unfortunately, those Guardians kind of just needed to charge right up here and start the decap. May not even have gotten it, as we can see Bloodletters are over there. Anyways, 3 points going down, and Rise is taking the game. Unfortunate for Mr. Phlaago, just as the Eldar announcer says the same words. Fire Prism finally came out. If Phlaago had just been a little more on top of his macro, I feel like he could have hit Tier 3, had this Fire Prism out a while ago, or maybe stayed in Tier 2, gotten another Wraithlord or Warp Spiders or something, and really just held the map, because I feel like he had done well enough to take out the Great Unclean One and a couple other squads of Rises, and it was just map control that got him in the end. Very good play by both players, and man, that's a win for Rise. Chaos Lord standing triumphant right here with his big nasty blood maul. Anyways, this is Red-Rupee. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Thanks for watching. Feel free to subscribe, leave some comments about the games, discuss the tactics, what have you, and I will catch you guys next time.